Our presentation is on college tuition and economic inequality.
The average cost of college tuition in 1976 was $2,275. It is now currently $34,740. Why might that be? Well, the cost of tuition has surpassed inflation exponentially, and the cost of tuition has rose 5.6% annually, yet the income annually has decreased 1.6%. And for families of the lower quintiles, it is harder to pay for college tuition because it encompasses all of their income.
Historically, government regulations were supposed to help low-income students, but in today's world, these are the same regulations that are actually hurting them. So, after World War II, the United States passed the GI Bill and the Higher Education Act, and they originally both helped low-income students. However, now, because students have to take out so much money in debt because the cost of college has increased so much, kids are being in debt for much longer, and they're in much more debt. As you can see from 1989 to 2010, the amount of debt that students have is increased exponentially.
Politicians are failing at making significant changes in the college tuition problem. Finances are huge, if not the biggest circumstance in deciding whether or not to pursue college, and unfair financial circumstances should not prevent students from pursuing college. College tuition is not, student debt is not a party issue, and obviously as is shown here, all parties agree that it's a major problem. College tuition is increasing unprecedentedly, and government funding directly influences into the rising of college tuition. With the lack of government funding, college tuition is going to increase, therefore major changes need to be made.
Economically, high college tuition is expanding the wealth gap by placing outstanding debt on these college graduates. Student debt in America has tripled since 2006, and as you can see, in 2006 it was around $500 billion, and fast forward to 2018, it's up to $1.5 trillion. As you can see here, in 1989 there were only 9% of households that had outstanding student debt, and now in 2010 almost 1 in 5 households have outstanding student debt, and you can only assume that in the past 9 years it's increased. In 2017, there were 400 multi-billionaires in the United States. These 400 men and women own $2.68 trillion of wealth, which is more money than the bottom 64% of Americans own. As you can see, in 2010, it continues to be that the richest 10% of the United States are not impacted by this outstanding student debt, but the lowest 20%, the majority of America, is struggling to get out of this outstanding debt. As the student debt impacts the poor and the rich continue to succeed no matter what the outstanding student debt is, the top 20% of America is thriving with almost 90% of America's total wealth, while the bottom 40% doesn't even make up 1% of America's wealth.
Socially, there's a stigma around not attending college that influences the future choices that young adults make. It is instilled in many young minds that pursuing higher education or going to college will result in a more fruitful and satisfying life. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were 3.1 million people who graduated high school aged 16 to 24, January to October 2016. And of those 3.1 million, 2.2 million were enrolled in college the following year. That's almost 70%. The social mobility that is promised with college is not a guaranteed luxury, as a lot of it has to do with family and just your circumstances that you can't help.
So now that we've established that this is a problem, the big question is, how can we fix this? We as a group have proposed 4 solutions that we believe can help mitigate and help this problem for future generations. The first of those solutions is to enact sweeping governmental reforms in the process in which student loans are given.
The first part of this reform is income-driven loan repayment. Income-driven loan repayment is a system that will help low-income students with their high college debt. Income-driven loan repayments, or IDRs, are not a new and groundbreaking system. They've been around since the 1990s, and it's a fair and simple way to help low-income graduates pay back their outstanding debt. As you can see here, there's several different income-driven plans. They're all very similar. The general idea is that your payments will not take up more than 20% of your income, and that percentage rises and falls based on how much you make. And as long as you're meeting those requirements, on an average of 25 years, some as short as 20, if your full debt is not repaid, your loans are forgiven.
So the second part of this governmental reform that we had was to restrict the loans granted by the government. We believe that by restricting the size and amount of loans granted by the government, it will slow the rapid inflation of college tuition that we've seen in the past 30 years.
Another solution to the problem would be to lift the outstanding student debt off of the graduates and workers and to hand it over to the federal government. While some people may think that our government can't afford to pay for $1.5 trillion of debt, Scott Fulweiler at the Levi Economics Institute in 2018 did a study with 3 other economists, and they experimented to see what kind of benefits this plan would have. And they found that the GDP, or the gross domestic product of the United States, would increase annually by anywhere from $86 to $108 billion. The state, not only the federal government would benefit from this, but the state budgets would increase as the deficit could decrease by roughly 11%. The unemployment rate in the United States could drop anywhere from 0.22% to 0.36% over a 10-year period. And as the unemployment decreases and these workers don't have to worry about the student debt, 1.2 to 1.5 million jobs can be added annually.
The third solution is to choose another area to go into after high school. Many areas provide 2-year colleges or apprenticeships. The average cost for a 2-year college is $3,440 annually. And a worker with at least a high school degree can make up to $37,000 annually. So your cost of college, your 2-year college, would be covered after a year of working. And for an apprenticeship, the only cost that you would have to cover would be the license, but you can make anywhere from $25,000 to $45,000 a year depending on your trade.
Our fourth solution is tuition-free community college. Essentially, if a student is academically capable of earning a college degree, they're going to deserve it. The U.S. Department of Education predicted that by 2020, nearly 66% of jobs will require some sort of post-secondary education, and it's just unfair to students that finances could possibly be a roadblock in getting a college education.
The way that we can start to fix the gap with tuition for low-income students are government reforms and student flexibility.